Hi, I'm Darren, and this is Jake, and we're the Infamy Fantasy Esports team. We host fantasy esports tournaments for Fortnite and Apex Legends, but today we're going to be talking about mainly Fortnite and the upcoming tournaments that we have for this coming week and next. This week's tournament is the FNCS semis, which is from March 5th to 8th, and next week's tournament is the FNCS finals, which is March 12th through the 15th.
Awesome. So give me a quick recap of who won week three fantasy tournament.
Yeah, so for our week three fantasy tournament, I just want to take a moment to shout out to everyone who entered the tournament. Unfortunately, not everybody can be a winner, but in this video, we're going to be covering the third through first place winners. And our starting with our third place winner, DC Boy 777. He came in with a 25.65 infamy score, a little bit trailing behind second, but that's okay. I mean,
Third
to
is
be
third.
expected. It's fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, third is third. He's still not fourth. And speaking of second place, our infamy user Taki has been making a name for himself in infamy, winning both weeks one and weeks two of the FNCS qualifiers. He came in second this week with 37.91 infamy score. So definitely someone to be afraid of on the leaderboard. He seems to know what he's doing. And our overall winner, first place winner, Toad Wings. Toad Wings came in with 38.14 infamy score, just a little bit ahead of Taki, so it was close. And his team consisted of Scoped, Wolfies, Dukes, and Creo.
Dude, what a name. Honestly, he's the winner in my book, regardless of what his score is. That's a fantastic name.
I mean, yeah, you heard it here, Toad Wings. You got you got the win and the name to back it up. Taki better keep his eyes. I don't even know.
Wow. Okay, that was terrible.
That was
Jesus Christ.
I was going somewhere with it and I dropped the ball.
Yeah,
Completely
clearly.
dropped the ball.
Jesus Christ. And
All
you
right, we're
broke it.
not.
All right, we're gonna move past that. All right, so we got our top fantasy winners, but how about the top pros, the top people actually performing in the tournament? So can you, who amongst the major regions came out on top this past weekend?
Yeah, so this past weekend is the names that you might hear may not be expected. Well, for me doing all the stats, I could have said I saw this coming. But yeah, so just a little precursor. The way these tournaments are formatted is once you qualify, you no longer can play. So this allows for players who aren't as known or popular to make a name for themselves and play in these weeks where the top tier players already qualified. So with that being said, the top trio in NA for me has to be Jock, Acorn, and Slacks. These guys aren't like new by any means. These guys have been around for a while, but it seems like they're just starting to gain traction and momentum as a trio. They had a massive week two, earning 9 wins across 29 games, which netted them an insane 31% win rate, averaging 13 infamy score for each of them. And just for reference, our MVP player for week two put up 16 points. So each of the players on this trio was only 3 points behind the average, or sorry, not the average, the highest scoring player in the whole tournament, which is just absolutely absurd. Next region is EU. I know a lot of people expected Mitro and Mongrel, sorry, to dominate, but that wasn't the case. They didn't end up even qualifying for finals. They had a heartbreaking loss in week two. I believe someone disconnected, and it was just downhill from there in their last game to qualify. Unfortunate, but we're here to talk about winners. So the EU top trio has to be Noah Relly, Resin Anon, and Vidil. These guys are some unique, hyper aggressive W key style players. They use and have created some crazy phasing techniques that they use to just get in and destroy whoever they set their sights on. They qualified week one with a total of 8 wins across 34 games, which is about a 25% win rate. And these guys are new to the Infamy roster, so definitely don't sleep on them and be sure to check them out or add them to your team. They will put up points for you guys.
All right,
Our
cool. And last but not least region, mainly least,
uh,
I'd say.
mainly least in a lot of people's eyes, but I still enjoy watching these guys, and I think everyone knows who I'm about to talk about: Arkram, Rex, and Epic Whale. These guys qualified for finals week two. They each averaged 11 infamy score and had a huge lead over the second place team by 53 points. They ended up with 205 points at the end of all four sessions, and I believe second place only had 155. So it was, sorry, 208, and second place only had 155, which wasn't even close. They were ahead by 53 points. So say what you want about NA West, but they these guys know how to frag and put down huge points.
Wow, I'm not surprised at all. I don't follow the FNCS as much as I used to, but wow, those three names have not changed.
Yeah, not for that region. But like that's a one thing about fantasy. Like even though NA West is a quote unquote lesser region, they it doesn't matter for you because if you want players to put up points and you know that people are going to be going up against lesser players or easy kills, then
What,
why not have them on your team?
what is this like third little air quotes? You're not even doing the full air quotes. You're just like, yep, this little baby thing, little crab fingers. But all right, well, all right. So those guys, anyone can predict that they're gonna, probably dominate NA West. But uh, what about some of the other names that you're gonna do for any next predictions for upcoming tournament? Anyone stand out?
Yeah, so going into semis, I already mentioned these guys, Jock, Acorn, and Slacks on NA East. I think they are the team to watch out for. I will even go as far as to say I can see them winning the FNCS finals. These guys are that good. They had one of the highest win rates over the last 3 weeks, being greater than 30%. And I believe in week two, when they got 9 wins, they were mostly just trolling and just W keying kids. So that's just insane. What these guys can do if they were to play smart. It's I just think they have a lot of potential, and a lot of people are going to be expecting one of the known names like Saf, Stretch, and Zayd, or I'll even give Scented, Edgy, and Commandment. I think these guys are going to take NA East by storm based on what I've seen in these qualifier weeks. As for EU, I know I said that the top trio is Noah Relly, Resin, Anon, and Vadil,
Hmm.
but you can't sleep on Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage, if you're a longtime Infamy user, you know about Mr. Savage and how he is almost always the top player. And when he's in a tournament, he just always puts down. And he had the highest Infamy score over all 3 weeks when he was the MVP with a 16.56 earned for whoever had him on their team, which is just absurd compared to these guys. Like I said, Jock, Acorn, and Slacks, they
Hmm.
get 13, but Mr. Savage isn't playing with as good of players. He plays with iDrop and Taysom. Taysom is really good. iDrop, I don't know much about him, but I don't think he's on the level of these guys, Jock, Acorn, and Slacks, especially with NA East being a more competitive region.
Hmm.
But nonetheless, Mr. Savage is, as an IGL and a fragger, he just knows how to lead teams to finals and victories. So I'll always have him up there as one of the greats when it comes to EU.
Oh, for sure.
And oh, sorry.
I was gonna say like, yeah, Mr. Savage, like um, he's definitely proven his worth back when tournaments were varying in squad size from like solos to duos to full squads of four. Like
Yeah.
he's been winning tournaments on multiple different variations of team comps. So props to
Yeah.
him.
And with different players every time.
Hmm.
He played with Benji and Lechi last FNCS. This FNCS, he's with Savage, iDrop, and Tayson. He's done the duos FNCS with iDrop before. That's how they know each other. He's done duos with Benji. He just knows how to win, and he's a super smart player. So I'll always go with him when it comes to EU. Can't go wrong. But I digress. And on to everyone's favorite region, NA West. I know everyone's gonna say Arcrum, Rex, and Epic Whale. You guys just said that you've heard about them forever, but I really do think Reet, 40R Storm, and Macon have potential to take out the W over Arcrum, Rex, and Epic Whale, even though they are the uncontested goats of NA West. The reason I think this is because I watched Reed, 40R Storm, and Macon in the qualifier rounds, and these guys are just they're so good as a team. They like joke around, but it works. They're like laughing and just shitting on kids, and it's
I can get behind that.
yeah. And like Reed's a controller player, so he just gets in and doesn't miss because of mechanics.
Nothing but.
Nothing but mechanics. But onto the numbers, they put up 301 kills in 34 games. All three players are huge fraggers. They qualified for finals week one with a fourth place overall finish. I really think that under the right conditions, they can squeak it out over Epic Whale and those guys.
Awesome. Um, and so these are some of the big names that you expected to like really perform across the
Mhm.
major regions. Are there any? So like when you're composing your fantasy team, like you can't just like stack up on three big names.
No,
Like
no.
none of those. So is there
Yo,
like one or two kind of like more commodity picks or eco picks that you could might want to round out your team with the pair with a Rex or Mr. Savage?
yes, and I feel like a lot of people will know this name. He has been in the scene for a while. He started to make a name for himself in season three when he trioed with Chap for a little while. It didn't end up working out, but that's how I first heard of this player. And this player is Agers. He's currently offered on our platform for 6,600 salary, which is a steal considering what this kid is capable of putting up. Him, Skuga, and Degen, they ended up putting not nine, 8 wins in 35 matches, which qualified them for the finals week two. They finished second overall, and a player that is offered for 6,600 that finishes second place in qualifier grand finals, definitely that there's no more textbook definition of a steal. And to follow that up, a couple other players that I think who we just recently added are also steals. Dukes and TRNL Threats. They both play with Chap. I'm a big Chap fan. Chap used to be on Team Liquid, went to C9. He ended up getting dropped due to visibility reasons. But all that aside, Chap is a great IGL. He almost always makes it to grand finals of every FNCS he competes in. And with these guys, Dukes and TRNL Threats, they are both just younger players and huge fraggers. Like it reminds me of Reverse 2K and Mero and Day. What Chap is able to do with these guys, Chap just takes the lead and tells them what to do. They listen to what he says, and like all you hear while Chap is tarping is just like dead, 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 and it shows because these guys put up. They averaged 195 kills a session, so for each qualifier week, for those who don't know, there's 4 sessions. So they were getting about 200 kills every tournament session they entered, which is absolutely insane. And combine that with Chap's ability to tarp and his IGL knowledge, Chap's been playing the game since season one. I want to say the beginning of the game. I don't know exactly when, but he's been playing since like Double Pump was around, like very, very early days of Fortnite. So Chap knows a lot, and combine him with two big fraggers like these guys, 7,500. Hey man, I'm
Yeah,
not telling you how to spend your money, but I'm telling you how to spend your money.
there you go. Smart money coming out.
So,
Take it or leave it. Awesome. So we got the high hitters, some eco guys. Um, Anything else? Round out this little segment, Darren.
that's it for me. I just hope that when everyone's making their teams, they pay attention and think about like some external factors. I feel like a lot of people don't really think about like things like are you being contested off of spawn, who's landing near them, like these factors, especially in a grand finals event when everyone is going, it's the same players every game.
Mm-hmm.
So just knowing that information, you may not want to pick someone who's going to be contesting someone because everyone knows about BRs and contesting. When two players land on each other, they end up scuffing each other. So if you have, let's say, Chaps, Dukes, and Threats, and just for argument's sake, they're playing against Mr. Savage, I drop in Tayson, and you know they're both landing in the same area, you may not want to have Duke's threats, Mr. Savage and Tayson, because they're just going to go at each other
Mhm.
and probably not going to have a good time or do well. So
Yeah.
just some external factors to think of. But with that being said, I am so excited for these next couple of tournaments. I'd like to thank everybody who has entered our tournaments up until now, and let us know who you think is going to overperform, who you think underperformed in the last tournaments, what you would like to see from us in these videos. We're trying to get more into doing detailed breakdowns of these tournaments now that we have the flow of tournaments under control. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you want to see, what you don't want to see, who you like, who you have, what you think is going to happen. That's it for me. We're the Infamy Fantasy Esports team, and thank you guys for watching.